Thanks for tuning in to the Prime Nostalgia, the podcast dedicated to entertainment from childhood. That's 80s, 90s, the latest 2000s. Cause Prime know it all, and Leeboy be wild, and he's from all that. Dropping gems for you to find, so that's orange, the lightest line. Prime time is all the time. We talking about the classics, and there's so many. That's Leeboy TV and PRIME. Ow.
All right. We are back with another episode of the Prime Nostalgia Podcast. Yes, the PNP. I am LEEBOY TV here with the original starter, the man with the plan. You know who he is, Prime, PRIME. And this is Prime Nostalgia Podcast, man. We got another episode. What's up with y'all? What's up? What's up, Prime?
So,
and we just came off a hell of an episode, man. And that Voice is a Classic Soul. Wait.
Yeah.
Are you still on what we just came in with? Look, right before I started.
No.
Okay.
I was thinking about last week when I was like, I was like, "What's up, y'all?" They was like, "Hey," I was like,
"Oh yeah." Hey, I didn't want to insult them. I was like, "It's gonna be one of those episodes."
I mean, I guess they don't know the intro, but I understand. But I was
you was like, "What's up with your hey?" If you guys didn't watch it, go back to last episode. Voice is a Classic Soul. They were singing classic songs from the Temptations, Four Tops, Platters, and Drifters as well. And yeah, they're but some older guys, distinguished gentlemen, very mature crowd, I will say. And so we were doing our intro. We're like, "What's up, everybody?" They like, "Hey," we ain't talking to you. In fact, we need y'all to hold back for a second. Like, we're gonna introduce y'all. Y'all ain't supposed to be talking, but they was responding already to our intro. That was funny, man. It was a good time. No, but yeah, Joe Blunt, Joe Coleman, and obviously Theo Peoples. Great company. Great having Voices of Classic Soul. Recommend everyone go check that out. But for this week, though, we got a little episode. This little something that's just been recently added to Disney Plus. First time I seen it, and that's why Prime is already making this face. If you guys are watching,
so you see how you tried to speed past that?
Hey, when it hopped on Disney Plus, that's when I hopped on it as well. And a lot of hops in this movie, a lot of crazy effects and crazy stuff is going on. And we're gonna be talking about Like Mike today, the classic starring Lil Bow Wow. You just don't know. So flat. And you know what's funny? This is the first time I heard that song in context of the movie Take You Home. So now it makes a little bit more sense why he came out with that single. But we'll get on that later. But before we talk about the movie, though, I did want to talk about a couple nostalgia subjects that just came out, and I'm just actually I'm surprising Prime with this. But the community has been on the map recently. Have you seen any of this stuff with Jamie Lynn and Britney Spears? Have you been following this at all? Because the Zoe 101 crowd is about to the fans are coming out of nowhere. They're coming out the woodworks.
So after what she did to the cast, I have not followed anything about of what she did, because that was kind of dirty.
Right. And that was her. And are you referring to her pulling up to the All That set? And she kind of told everyone it was
told them like they was doing the show. Yeah,
a Zoe 101 reunion, and it was all about her because she's the only one that's been all that. And how did they have I still have a gripe with this. How did they have a reunion before us? Come on now. Come on. They gonna let
because they're
gonna allow a Zoe 101 reunion on All That before All That
because they were so deep into we coming back to where it was just like, well, I guess they are coming back, but they were not coming back at all. And she knew that from the start. She was lying, but I digress. And so what about it? What are they saying?
No, I mean, it's just been a lot of drama with Britney Spears and stuff. So if you guys have seen it, Britney's putting up Instagrams and tweets and taking them down, and she's giving interviews talking about it, and doesn't seem too grateful about her Nickelodeon career. You know what I'm saying? She was like, "I never got to do anything. I was always in Britney's shadow." Excuse me. We would have loved to have our own television on Nickelodeon too. In fact,
I will say, her on I don't know how she got on y'all show. I'm just
that's what I'm saying. We know how. We know how. Yeah.
Obviously,
But yeah, man. So like I was saying, Child Star stuff is going crazy right now. I actually just got a last cut for our secret, top secret project that it seems like I've been promoting for almost a year now. Almost a year, but just got the last cut. So look out for some news from that coming soon. Starring some of my best friends. So it's gonna be a good time. But moving right along, like I said, just dropped on Disney Plus this week was Like Mike. And this is 2002, and so it's definitely in the 2000s, late in the nostalgia era, but definitely feels like a nostalgic movie.
This is the 20th.
Yeah. And yeah, like you said, 20th anniversary. It'll be the 20th anniversary this year. So when you sent me the list of all the movies that are gonna have anniversaries, I'm like, oh, okay, just watch this one. And like I mentioned, just watch it for the first time. What do you got to say about that, Prime? You got a problem with me or what?
I do, only because not even for you can take the movie aspect out of it. Just by the stars that are in it. It's like,
yeah. I'll say
really?
I'm a big fan of the kid from Jerry Maguire. What's his name in this one?
How you say?
What's his name? Murph, Big Murph.
Jonathan Lipnicki.
Yes, Jonathan Lipnicki, aka Big Murph. He was
hating. AKA I can choke you out if I wanted to.
Yeah, he was hating on Calvin Cambridge, but
I know he was not. Come on, man.
But no, big fan though too, and we'll talk about it, of the NBA stars that are definitely in this movie. They hit on pretty much all the great ones from the early 2000s, late 90s. And one of the few movies that have that much of a star-studded NBA cast. Like, there's very few films that actually get NBA stars. And so this is one of them. So when you look up, some of the best NBA movies, and I, did that as part of the research for today, just to see like what other movies had big NBA cast. This is definitely in the top like 3, like 3 to 5 as far as having.
What else got a big cast?
Space Jam has great NBA stars, including Jordan.
Okay.
Yeah, and obviously both of those. And then there's 2 Space Jams.
Does the second one really count if they are in it for a second?
Yes, they're still in it.
Is that's
Iverson is only in this one for. He wasn't even actually in it. I think he was in front of a green screen.
They always in it.
But he wasn't around Bow Wow though. Obviously, you could tell when they were playing. That was someone else that was playing.
Yeah,
Iverson.
yeah. No, a lot of them they just went before the game, said, "Hey, can you do this pre-tape thing?" And
right.
A lot of them did it, but a lot of them, did some stuff. I like how they interweaved it, and the final boss at that time, that's a good final boss. That's all I'm gonna say.
Oh, you think so? I think they couldn't get Iverson.
You think?
I think they couldn't get Iverson to do it, and so they came up with VC. Man, I don't know. Are we gonna go all the way to? Are we gonna get into it now? Because that's one of the last points I had.
All right.
But it's up to. We could go chronological, or we could get to it right now. I think at the end of the budget, they didn't have enough money for Iverson, which is when you watch the movie, you could tell that they weren't playing against each other. They had a stand-in for when he was playing against Iverson, and then when he looked, he has this look. It just looks like random stuff in the back. Could have been a green screen, or it could have just been, like you said, at any point in the game. But they didn't have the full set and crew around when they had Iverson. And the focus that they put on him with him having on the jersey, obviously, like Mike, they're talking about Mike Jordan, but he also has the braids. I feel like there's just that is what was missing, I think, from the movie is I think him going up against Iverson. He even told Iverson, "I love you, man. You're one of my favorite players." He never says that to Vince Carter. He had more reverence for the Admiral than Vince Carter, and they didn't really hype up because they didn't hype it up, man. Like that they were gonna go and battle at the end. Yeah.
No, you're taking it the wrong way.
What's up?
I think AI was more of an ally. It's like in the scope of it, AI was not like AI was just technically there, while VC was like the bad guy almost. AI wasn't the bad guy. He was just like, okay, you one up me because you looked up to me, so you studied my playbook. I think that's how it was taken. I think VC was legit a bad guy and the bad guy in the movie, but AI was just there.
But wouldn't it be more compelling if he had to like beat AI at his game? That's his favorite player, and then he took his moves and got even better. And MJ, I don't know. It just seems that whole part, I feel like they just kind of dealt with what players they could get and they figured it out, because for them to have so many different players in there that they had to pull from, how to just landing on the Raptors and VC. I don't know. It just seemed random to me. I know Vince Carter was, big for you. And at that time, I mean, his Duncan,
VC is definitely
I will say dunk wise and going crazy. He was doing crazy stuff, but he didn't win no championships. Come on now.
So didn't Allen Iverson didn't either. What you mean? But I'm saying,
he went further than the VC though. But
as far as a person you don't want to face, like, I guess because AI is short and he's short, it's like, okay,
and they had the braids and he had on his jersey. There was just so many things.
You think about somebody that's real tall, he can dunk on you, he can shoot on you, he's just everything. I think that's more of a just like the Monstars.
It's like not bad. But I have a question. Was David Robinson even in the league at that time when this movie came out? Like,
yeah.
He was still there?
He retired in like 2004.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, then the real person that really needed them was Shaq. If you're saying a tall guy, what I'm saying?
That would make sense, but obviously they wanted to say it was one LA team. So, but he definitely should have been in there. That's all I would say.
That's why I really feel like they kind of just got who they got, kind of developed the script based on, who was the surrounding players. And it looked like Iverson didn't have too much time for this one, but I digress. Let's get on with a little bit of
They probably did it before the game. Did you see the bloopers at all?
Yeah, I saw the bloopers.
Yeah, he was like, y'all want me to do this before I'm playing the basketball?
He's like, I'm not an actor, man.
Yeah, he's an actor.
He looked pissed, right? He probably looked like he did it for free. All right, man, I'm gonna just do this 5 minutes. Just send me my royalty check.
He's not an actor. They probably did like 30 takes. He is not an actor. He knows that.
They might have had to rewrite the script after they filmed the scenes. Like, oh, Iverson is terrible. We're gonna at least
that's probably why Vince is the main guy. It was like, oh no, he can't. No,
Iverson cannot even pull this off.
But you gotta get into tell the story since you first time. You tell it.
Okay. So Calvin Cambridge, just fast forward into what is relevant is he's an orphan looking for a family to go home to, and he's got these cohorts within his orphanage, and they're just after the meanings of life and having a family, a nuclear family, so on and so forth. But they stumble across these shoes that makes Calvin Cambridge play like Michael Jordan. They get an opportunity to play what is it? What is my guy's name? Morris Chestnut. Tracy, aka Tea Time or something.
Which I always thought that was a play on T-Mac.
All right, T-Mac. But so he embarrasses in Tea Time or Morris Chestnut's character in a one-on-one, which was just random pick from the audience of the people that attended this game. And Calvin Cambridge, through a whole media frenzy, makes his way on to the Los Angeles Knights basketball team, which is professional in the NBA. And basically he goes through the trials and tribulations of playing these games with or without the shoes, right? He needs to have the shoes, obviously, to perform. They're Michael Jordan's old shoes, and every once in a while, someone tries to steal it from him, or he can't find them, right? And then at the same time, he's just also trying to get adopted, which is the prime candidate is Morris Chestnut, his teammate.
Real quick,
it must have been so awkward for them to play like father and son. They probably knew each other before this too, man. It's like
this makes me laugh because you never seen this. I know you haven't seen the second one, right?
No.
The main cohort in the second one, the bad guy,
Mhm.
Can you guess who the bad guy is in the second one? Just take a guess, a wild guess of who we know.
Who we know?
Yes, who we know.
I mean, I would say the bad guy is it's the the bad guy from the orphanage. It can't be the same kid.
It's not the same kid in the second one.
Oh, okay.
So the bad guy is who we know. We know this. We know this person.
We know this person. Are they in the first one?
No.
Oh, okay. So I have no idea. I don't know.
I guess. Wild guess for the fans. Take a guess.
Danny Tamborelli.
No,
he's not in this one.
No, it's Kel.
Are you for real?
I'm so serious.
Kel Mitchell is in this.
He's in the second one. He's the bad guy. He's a
coach or something. He got to be a coach.
No, he's like his uncle or something.
Oh, he comes around like late.
And he takes the shoes. He takes the shoes and put them in the bag for money.
Okay. But yeah, so we were just saying, look, he's having all these trials and tribulations with trying to play the games and also get adopted by Morris Chestnut. But yeah, I mean, you know, the plot is pretty basic. We kind of know what's going to happen. He's a kid that is obviously from an orphanage that's going to get adopted by the end of the movie. And so he finds quote unquote love with his teammate T-Time, and they go through a whole father and son thing. He comes to a realization, right, T-Time, that this is what he needs. Who really needs a son and an extra son in their life? I don't know. And then on the top of it, like Murph gonna throw himself in there. And then I've
always said he don't even know Murph enough to even do that.
But
I've always said that you have one day painting and now all of a sudden he's your son. Like, I don't know.
But then the other, he didn't even think about the other kids from the orphanage though. Like the other, what was her name? Brenda Song. I mean, her real name. I don't know her name in the.
Yeah, I don't know. He was like, she good. She good.
He didn't even think about them twice, especially not the bad kid. I don't even remember his name.
He was like, I'm good. I'm leaving.
But you know, the plot to the movie is basic. I think what definitely makes it is obviously Little Bow Wow. He's dope in this. You know, I mean, even though the acting is basic, he's a good leader for a movie in 2002 for sure. Especially with little kids, he's captivating. Not going to win any awards, and he definitely did not for this. But you know, very entertaining as far as, you know, just a 2000 nostalgic movie. You're not thinking about too much when you're having NBA players trying to act, and you know, none of them can. I mean, we talked about it a little bit earlier about other movies that feature NBA players. I'm looking at it now. Obviously there's Space Jam, He Got Game.
Oh yeah.
What else?
Blue Chips,
obviously Shaq. I mean, they got movies on here. I put in NBA, and they got Semi-Pro and White Men Can't Jump. None of those have. Juwanna Man does, right? Maybe. Or
one.
Just Right.
Just Right has two.
Just Right has a couple. So yeah, there's very few that actually have, you know, NBA players in them as far as like real film. So I think this is in the top 3 when it comes to those type of film. Like,
and I think that's why this was a phenomenon, because of that.
And do you think I mean, obviously Bow Wow's star power at the time has a lot to do with that. All these guys love Bow Wow, man. And he's making songs about basketball. He's boosting up the brand. And, you know, I think this movie was profitable, right? I'm sure it was.
It was, yes.
Sure it was.
This, by the way, this is who he still thinks he is, by the way. Right. That's why it's hilarious, because he still thinks he is this guy. It's like, no, you're not. Yeah.
I love Bow Wow when he was buying what is that, lottery? What is it?
Yeah. No, that was
that was the Medea movie.
Yeah.
He was in Lottery Ticket too, I think, though, wasn't he? I don't know.
Yeah, him and Brandon T. Jackson. Yeah.
Okay. Now Bow Wow has a couple of good films, man.
Speaking of Bow Wow. See, now you done brought this up.
Another child star, man. Another one of our
have you seen him at the Grammys?
No. Recently?
No. This is
Mike days?
No. He's at the Grammys, and he's He's how do I explain what he's doing? He's the host.
Okay.
Well, he's like a premature host.
Oh, like the pre-show host.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But he's premature.
What do you mean though?
We're starting now. No? Okay. All right.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. You mean, yeah, he's premature. He's technically stalling, yeah, and he couldn't find any more words to stall. He just he just
God.
Very cringe. Hey, shout out to Bow. That is classic TV. It didn't show you in the best light. It didn't show your best hosting skills. Bro, we need some more words. We don't need you to keep introducing something that ain't happening. Like, can you come up with something else, bro?
Yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, that's Lil Bow Wow, man. That's big Bow. Shad, right?
Shad.
Yeah, you know, just talking to why I don't think I saw this movie at the time. I probably was hating on Shad, you know, a little bit. And we were the same age. I think this came out in 2002. Like you said, I was about 15, 16 at the time. Actually, I had just turned 16 because it came out on July 3rd. Or I was turning 16 on July 6th. So I was just about to turn 16. But I was probably, you know, just overlooking it a little bit, but it's definitely something I could have enjoyed maybe at the time. But, you know, at 15, 16, I was already watching The Wood, you know, when that came out. I was going back to New Jack City and stuff like that. Around that time, I was going back to some of the more grittier classics. So something like this didn't really cross the radar. It wasn't really hitting in the friend circle, so quote unquote. But you know, me and the kid just checked it out. Me and Jordan, he loved it, and I'll check it out with Ethan too as well. It's a definitely a good nostalgic film, and if you ever want to get a reminder of the NBA players from that time, T-Mac, Jason Kidd, who else is in this? Yeah, the Admiral, David Robinson. Who else?
Gary
Payton's in it. Allen Iverson,
Chris Webber.
The Chris Webber, which was great. Yeah. The entire Mavericks. Dirk when he was like,
yeah,
"Oh yeah, can I get an autograph?"
That's like one of the most quotable lines.
Who'd I make it out to? Oh, Dirk. Oh, that's my niece. Oh, okay. What's your niece's name? Dirk.
That's one of the most quotable lines.
Yeah. All right, Dirk.
That one and
that was pretty funny.
There's another line I can't think of, but that one definitely is. What is her name?
Yeah, Dirk.
And
then and then Reggie Theis was in this, and he's actually related to Tommy Hobson, who's been on this podcast. You know, I grew up around the Theis family just a little bit, just because I was, you know, associated with Tommy and all of them. And his daughter, Rocky Theis, who is, I think she's a news reporter out of Vegas, and she was actually in the movie. I was thinking about Rocky. I'm like, oh, cool, Reggie's in it. And his daughter Rocky was in it. She was actually in the Bel Air scene when he went and kicked it with the Boyds and was at the dinner table with them, and she was the sister in that scene. And I looked on her IMDb, and that was her only movie. I'm like, oh, it's just crazy. We just randomly saw this, but obviously Reggie hooked her up. But what did you think of that whole thing with the Boyds? Obviously, the dad from Family Matters really playing fresh. He was playing he was playing Phil.
I felt like they couldn't get the family, so they was just like.
So yeah, and they even showed the same house as Fresh Prince, even though it wasn't the same house. But that was interesting how they really tried to like fuse in the Fresh Prince somehow. They was from Bel Air too. Like
I felt like they couldn't get any of the actors, so they were just like, he's a familiar face.
Right. It's just like, it's almost like it'll confuse people that don't know the difference between Fresh Prince and Family Matters.
What they should have did is they should have went all the way there and got just everybody from the other show just to have them in there and be like, this is what it's like.
Definitely thought it was Uncle Phil. Yeah. He was even acting like Uncle Phil almost.
But the mom is from Half and Half. I don't know if you
Right. Yes. A very accomplished actress. But yeah, she's funny, very funny as well. And that
No,
that is
yeah.
where I remember from. I know that's your show. She was funny
Only
as
for
heck
S's
in that.
acting, so yeah.
And then one last thing we didn't talk about before we get into the nostalgia star, and we'll get to that pretty quick, was Mr. Biddleman, obviously from
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. What's the
Actually, it was the first movie I seen him in.
Was this before Back to the
Yes,
Future?
no, this, and then I seen him in that movie.
Right.
But yes.
And the actor's name again?
Crispin Glover.
Crispin Glover, yeah. And pretty, I mean, he's good in these roles. He's very, even though it's strange a little bit, he's playing a strange character, but he makes it somewhat believable, like just kind of a weirdo that's on his stick. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he just plays that well. He plays that well, similar to the guy that was just in the Kevin Hart project. You know, it just kind of reminds me.
Oh, you talking about Glenn or Gary or
the crazed fan from True Story. He reminds me just of that type of actor that's able to play these creepy roles pretty well, because I've seen him in that role before as well, outside of Back to the Future.
think he's the Jim Carrey-esque where he can manipulate his face. Mm-hmm. So he uses that to be the creepy guy, I guess.
And he was the biggest hater, obviously.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, Biddleman, he was hating on a orphan getting parents. Like, who does that? And told him he couldn't nobody adopt him, and you're gonna stay here with me. And then, you know, he was very easy to defeat by Calvin Cambridge. I did like the little move with the scooters. Where he sent it to his shin, probably broke his shin in half.
This gets me. Question: how does he get there before the kids? In the gate, no less. How does he get in the gate?
And in the gate?
Yes.
Yeah, they didn't show him in the car. What did they do? Because he did break out relatively soon after
he broke out, but they had like a chase. What I'm saying,
they was going around the world. Maybe he had a car and he just hopped in.
But I'm talking about the people. They're like, Calvin's not even here, so why are you here and he's not here?
Right. I don't know. It was unexplained for sure.
Don't know.
Yeah, and then he just really just broke his shin off with the scooter. My question really was, how did all them orphans get scooters? All of them had scooters.
He bought them.
Oh, he did? Okay, see, I missed that part.
You missed it? No, he bought everybody.
With his little NBA salary?
Yes.
How come he wasn't rich? Was he rich or why was he?
Well, he had an NBA salary.
Okay, but he should have just went and got a house. Like, what you need parents for? Skip that.
Well, I mean, I don't think you can do that.
I mean, you can find it. There's a will, there's a way. But so who had the checkbook? Who bought all the scooters? He had money? He had cash? I didn't see that part.
He got it when he got his check. That's what he bought.
Okay, he got a check.
That's the first thing he bought.
Got me a check. I got a check. But anyway,
that was the scene where they were playing the basketball song.
We playing basketball.
And then he was doing like an interview or something, and then.
And is that at the end they came out in the same suit? He came out in the same suit and did the spin.
Yeah, did the spin.
Cool.
And,
okay.
Yeah.
So
that whole little scene, yeah, it was in that scene.
Montage. Speaking of, and actually one of my favorite parts of the movie was a montage with him interviewing his potential adoptive parents. I thought that was great. Very nostalgic.
Corey
type
Holcomb
scene.
was in there.
Was he?
Yes.
Yeah. So
Corey Holcomb was the.
Oh yeah, Corey Holcomb. I don't know why I was thinking of the other Corey from I don't know. I was thinking of a different Corey. But yes, Corey Holcomb was there acting hilarious and ghetto. He was funny. I love Corey Holcomb.
I want to say it was somebody else in there that I recognized too, but
yeah, it was a couple of good people, and they were singing Annie and all kind of funny stuff. And I love montages like that. Remind me a lot of the Mrs. Doubtfire montage when she's interviewing all the bad candidates to be nannies. Very similar to that, and it gives you the nostalgia feel of a movie, because you're not going to see that in a movie, I don't think, today. You're not going to see that same type of music montage and just cut after cut of idiocy. It's just stupid. You know what? It also reminds you of Coming to America. Right, Coming to America, when they're in the nightclub and they're interviewing potential dates.
Okay, so
but yeah,
I am looking at this. There is a few people that's in this. It's Fred Armistead.
don't know.
SNL. No, okay. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but the key the lady from the Bernie Mac show.
Oh,
His wife.
Kalita Smith.
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce that. So
Oh,
I was gonna say Kahita. Kahita.
Kalita
That's what I was
Smith.
gonna say.
And she's with Corey Holcomb.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Oh yeah. So those are some random people just throwing in there because the show was going on at that time too. So just random people just springing up in there. But
yeah, let's go ahead and get to the nostalgia star.
Oh, by the way, we are all over the place. But by the way, end of the game, Vince Carter got the job done basically, but he tore his man's shoes up, which I think is funny. This man just dogpiled him and then broke his shoes, and then he had to, this happens at the end of every movie.
Right, where they lose, they get stripped of all the powers, and then somehow they could have done it on their own.
Yes. So yes.
No, you cannot play in the NBA without talent, freak athleticism. Yes.
But he does it and tells everybody he quits, and then they win. They don't even win the championship. They win the chance to go to the playoffs. And then at that, they're 8th seed.
Yeah, they probably lost. Yeah, probably lost, especially without Calvin.
It would have been better if it was a championship game, but they literally did all that to go to the 8th seed to
save their jobs, because they was like, "Oh, we gonna be back next year if we get into the playoffs."
Especially Eugene Levy. I don't know what his name is in the movie. He's the GM.
Mm-hmm.
The one that when the coach was like, "All right, I can play anybody I want," he was like, "Yeah, but not him."
Right.
Yeah, so yeah. But all right, go to it. Go to the star.
Yeah, we got the nostalgia star, as we always do when we're critiquing and discussing movies from the nostalgia era. We bring out the nostalgia star so we can rate these movies on 5 different points, and this is what we got today. We talk about Prime. Break down the categories.
All right, we got fandom, cast, longevity, production, and plot.
You heard it from Prime. We got the fandom, cast, longevity, plot, and one other one that I forgot. Hey, but it's still Ron. But production. Well, and let's start off with the production, because some funny stuff going down in this movie, especially that first 101 when he crossed him and dunked from the free throw, and everyone was just stuck. That was hella unbelievable. That's why they were stuck like that. So what did you think about the graphics and just the overall
there was a lot of
movie?
stuff like him dunking from free, all that. I don't even like I don't even like see that. I don't understand.
You just probably not. It's not really part of the movie. Yeah.
It's like
it has nothing to do
I
with
see it, but it's like I don't process him jumping from the free throw line and dunking. And then not even that, it don't even look like a natural dunk. It's not like I'm dunking. It's like a
floated. Yeah.
It just floated. Yeah. All right.
I think there were some things lacking there.
But then again,
I think that's why I turned off the movie in the early 2000s. Right when that scene that happened, I was like, bro, I'm cool. I'm gonna just watch Blue Chips.
I think if you go from him getting signed to the end of the movie, it's better than watching till he plays T-Top. So I think if you go from the cameos and the story to the end, you will be missing nothing. So
I agree. So, but overall, I think the production, unfortunately, there were some great things because they had great backdrops like the Staples Center throughout the movie. Classic areas of LA are in this movie as well. Probably cost them a ton. But I think the production is probably the lowest point, one of the lowest points for me. The biggest drop offs to that make it a great film. I would give it a C minus because just in like some of the things that they did with the NBA players, I think they did what they could. They probably have very limited time with these guys, and probably cost a lot to take their time. But I will probably give it a C minus.
All right, question: Who acts better, this cast or a Space Jam cast?
I mean, I think I might have to give it to this one just a little bit. I think Space Jam, they were on there too long, and I mean, the longer you see them, the worse it get. Like Charles Barkley just continuously acting, is just getting worse, worse, and worse. Muggsy Bogues, bad. They're like, these
Sean
guys
Bradley
had lines like at least
horrible.
in this one, they didn't have as many lines. Wait, I'm trying to get my light right. There we go. They didn't have as many lines. I thought Dirk's delivery was pretty good in this one. Iverson was probably just about the worst out of all of them, but they were on there for so limited of a time that it really didn't matter too much.
Okay, I give it a B minus. I'll give it B minus.
I mean, fair enough. Like I just I think that was probably the one thing that held it back. But I do understand that they were definitely limited with these players in time for sure. So let's move on to the plot. What do you think?
See, for me, I would say at the time, this was never done like this. So I would give it an A. I don't care.
I do like the plot. I do like the plot in general. You rarely see
minus the orphanage part. I'm talking about just him finding the shoes and playing and actually being in the NBA, not like some league or high school. That plot was never done at that time. So
but I do like the orphanage plot too, though, because that adds, you rarely see like someone wanting to just be a dad, or they
well you didn't want to. Now it's not saying you want.
But that's what I'm saying. They kind of tackled that narrative of people shunning away from fatherhood and responsibilities or whatever, and they showed Black men in a positive light, and it seems like they took that opportunity to do so. And then also like throw in fun moments, like when they ripped off the Rush Hour and it was dancing in
that's one of the best scenes.
They ripped off Rush Hour for sure, right?
They did, but I don't care. That is one of the best scenes in the movie. Just them, just
and right, and that's what I mean though. So I think that was
wait,
a dope spin. What? They started hitting it. Yeah. No, it looked fun, man. And like I said, like that was something that we hadn't really seen, like that father and son, even if they were father and son duo coming together. That was kind of a new concept as far as, especially intertwined with the whole NBA thing. And then you got the orphanage thing. I thought that's probably one of the highlights definitely of what we saw and why it is so much of a classic in terms of nostalgia. I'll give it an A.
And it also, at that point, did help out T-Time, because when he first got on it, he was like, yeah, nah, I'm not doing this. He was like zero nonsense when it comes to people under 5 feet.
So he's 4'8", and that was probably about when I was real high. At 15, Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, help him.
That's why he was playing the 10-year-old at 15. We got the cast, which I'm just gonna say cast is, aside from the players, I would still give it a B, because they got Chris McGovern, Eugene Levy, Jonathan Lipnicki, Bow Wow, Brenda Song. All of these people have done things outside of this, a lot of things. So I would say give it a B, and then put the actual stars on there. Give B plus.
I give it A minus. I give it an A minus because
Okay.
I'm sure a lot of their budget had to go to, um, getting those NBA players to commit to their time, and that takes away from any budgets they may have in the cast. I think if anything, if we could have seen maybe a higher representative in the head coach position, or I like the GM casting, but I like Morris Chestnut as the NBA player. I think that was pretty good, and obviously Bow Wow. So I think the cast was good, man. I think this was a good cast. Like I said, I love the kid from Jeremy Maguire, and I thought no complaints really from me, especially all the NBA players they were able to get. So I give it an A minus.
Okay. What about fandom?
Fandom. I mean, people still love this movie. People still love this movie. I hear people talking about Like Mike all the time, especially the younger generation, my generation and younger. Everyone has pretty much seen it. I think I was one of the few that didn't. So with my experience is not the same as everyone, but
I think because you actually watched it for the movie, nobody cares about the movie aspect. This is only about the players.
Right.
This is only about the players.
Yeah, at this time I was really watching good movies for, I was into the Matrix and stuff like that.
Yeah, this is not a movie for the acting. No, no, we only care about the players. And
I know this was 2002, but started in 2000. Matrix was my movie, and then by 2002, the Matrix 2 was coming out, so I was watching stuff like that. Obviously, The Wood was some of my favorite movies at the time, so I was probably into a little bit more of a mature type thing. But like you said, just like seeing NBA players in films and watching them was always historic. So I would have enjoyed it at this time had I seen it. But as far as the fandom, I still see people, talking about this, and I just seen obviously when DMX passed, I seen him and Morris Chestnut. The car scene came out. Y'all gonna make me lose my mind. Our rest in peace to DMX. They killed that whole scene. Including the steal from Rush Hour, but it is what it is. Yeah.
I think I would give it a B plus because the second movie kind of took that grade down. But I think other than Space Jam, these are the only ones with multiple stars actually in it throughout. And I wish they did something like I thought Space Jam 2 was gonna do that, but then they just was only in there for like a second, and then it was their avatars. But I wish I want a movie where like they are in it, like they go through a season facing different people or whatever, because I think that would just be cool just to see, like what if I need like a Luka or a Trae Young, somebody moment doing a Dirk or something, I don't know, but yeah. So
yeah, I would. I mean, I'm probably right there with you, B plus for the fandom. And then last, is it last we have longevity?
Longevity.
Oh, the graphics definitely.
The graphics
didn't last.
They don't
last. Bow Wow's acting, I don't know if it's gonna last, bro.
I think his can last as a 10-year-old that's an orphan that's never had anything. That can last.
Kids could enjoy this continuously.
Yes,
they will see. They won't think about this acting or this is weird. No, it seems totally natural. It seems like a natural.
This is definitely not a movie for the people go to. So people don't. I don't think
elders, but like in comparison to Morris Chestnut's other projects, this would not be his top performance.
No, not at all.
Obviously,
it wouldn't be his top, but it might be one of his most popular because of. All the
he might get the most notoriety from random people like, oh, he was from I keep forgetting his name.
Tracy T-Time.
T-Time. C Dub. Where did the C Dub come from? C 2 times? Because I was like, it shouldn't have been C Bridge or I don't know.
No, Dub is 2.
Like 2, 2 times. C Dub.
Yeah. Dub is 2, yeah.
T-Time, C
because his name is Calvin King. Yeah. So
right.
But
C double. But yeah, I would give it. What would you give it though? I would give it longevity. I'm gonna give it a C plus. That's where I think that's probably where. Oh, you know what? NBA players. Let me wait. Let me rewind because seeing
and
NBA players
especially
from this time.
Not only did they get NBA players, but they got the top at that time. Like they didn't just get like
they got T-Mac.
they just get the lower tier players. Yeah,
they got obviously Vince Carter. They got Iverson was there. Yep. They got the Admiral
MVP that year. Yep.
They got pretty much all the top players minus Shaq and Kobe.
And because they were not in the league.
I mean,
you know what makes this more upsetting is they just made this movie just to make it, and then like a month or two later, this guy comes back out of retirement. Oh my god,
that's crazy.
Imagine how upset they probably was. Like, oh, he could have played against him as the final boss. That should have happened.
And you saying him, you mean you didn't say his name, Michael Jordan?
Yes, MJ.
Yes, Mike. Yeah, you didn't mention Mike.
Imagine.
It is like Mike. So yeah.
Imagine if MJ is the final boss.
But see, that's where you were satisfied with Vince Carter. I just felt like it was just.
I wasn't necessarily satisfied, but I can understand him. Like I can understand him being a monster type of like. Yeah, I cannot beat this guy.
I would have liked to see Iverson and him just go crossover for crossover at the end. That would be crazy. Would have been crazy.
Yeah, but Allen Iverson don't give no. He doesn't give.
He just shows love. Yeah, he doesn't. He's never a villain to.
Yeah, he doesn't give like a sense of.
He should have been like his little mentor, but then obviously he already had T. I keep forgetting his name. T what?
Tracy.
T-Time.
Yes, T-Time.
That is a terrible name. T-Time.
That is, but I mean, it sounds like a 10-year-old came up with it.
It sounds like he about to serve some tea with the girls in the room. Tea-time.
I mean, he was trying. Calvin wouldn't let him, so.
Oh, he did try. But all right, man. I don't know. Did you give your last rating? I think we could cut it right there.
I would give it a C because the second movie brought it down, but I'll give it a C plus because I kind of still want to see one.
And I say with the NBA players, I'm gonna say B minus longevity. Okay. Because you will never, like you said, the best NBA players of the time, minus Kobe, Shaq, and Mike. But that will always resonate with certain people for a long time, and I think that speaks to longevity. So I'll give it a B minus on that one. You guys tally up, in fact, Prime will tally up the nostalgia star on the back end. And man, I'll tell everybody where you can find me at leeboytv.com, at Leeboy TV on all socials, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. Get in tap with your boy. We started off with some child star news. We got that project coming soon. I'm excited. Like I said, we just got a final cut. Very happy with it, and I can't wait to share it with you guys. Prime, what's up?
KVNG Prime Time. At Prime Nostalgia Pod. Yeah, that's it. I'm like, what else? Yeah, Prime Nostalgia Pod.
80s, 90s vibes.
80s, 90s, 2000s
vibes. I seen they came out with the 60s, 70s vibes too. Is that the same?
No, there's not.
Oh, someone's stealing y'all.
There was a lot of no. We are adding 70s. Okay, at the end of the year.
Okay, someone came out with 60s, 70s, bro. So just letting you know.
No. There's a lot of numbers pages. There's a lot. I'm sure. But 80s, 90s, 2005. That's we
80s, 90s. Y'all know what it is. Prime nostalgia. Yeah, the prime years of nostalgia, right? 60s, 70s. That's I don't know. Do you consider that nostalgia? It's different nostalgia. It's different.
That's not. That's more.
It's not like the golden era.
That's old school.
Yeah, it's old school. That's different. Yeah. It's different. But anyway, this is the Prime Nostalgia Podcast, and we always say, prime time is all the time. We out. Prime Nostalgia.
Thanks for tuning in to the Prime Nostalgia, the podcast dedicated to entertainment from childhood that's 80s, 90s, the latest 2000s. Cause Prime know it all, and Leeboy be wild, and he's from all that. Dropping gems for you to find, so that's orange, the lightest line. Prime time is all the time. We talking about the classics, and there's so many. This Leeboy TV and PRIME. Ow.